When it comes to the Indian wildlife stories, there are many beautiful and powerful creatures in the wild. In the forests of India, one can witness the powerful and wonderful creature, the tiger. The elegant and intelligent of the beings, the elephants. The dangerous bisons, and also the shy leopards. But amongst all these, we cannot forget the most royal king of the jungle, the lion. This lion, the Panthera leopersica, was once widely distributed in Asia, but now it is just limited to a small pocket in the area of Gujarat called as the Gir National Park. These royal creatures are now just limited to a few hundreds. Of all the Indian habitats, these lions have these lions find the Gir National Park habitat to be the most suitable for their survival. The protected area of Gir is around 1400 square kilometers, which comprises of 258 square kilometers as the national park, and the remainder is the sanctuary. The majority of the forest area of this park falls in the category of dry deciduous forests. However, this region has 7 perennial rivers, which means there is abundant water supply across the year in this area, except during severe drought cases. The day in this forest has begun with the activity of these beauties. Gir supports nearly 300 species of birds. The yellow-footed green pigeon is busy eating the fruits. The Alexandrian parakeets are looking beautiful in this morning light. The brown fish owl is disturbed by the drongos. They probably are trying to scare it away from their area. This serpent eagle is on its hunt. These spotted owlets, after a busy night, are trying to now gather some sleep. Suddenly, there is some activity amongst the langurs, and they seem to be disturbed. What is this langur trying to communicate? We went a little further to just check, and there it was, the king of the jungle walking on the road. The male lion is roughly 3.5 meters in length and weighs around 160 kgs. The male lions do not participate much in the activity of hunting. This is done by the females, who offer it first to the male lion. The male lion guards its territory. Its typical roar is heard for as far as 8 kilometers. These males are seen spraying urine to mark their territorial boundaries. These animals require around 7 kg of food per day. And the lions are known to rest or sleep for around 16 to 20 hours of the day. In this beautiful, perfect morning, this lion was seen resting and dozing off. On the other side of the forest, the primary herbivores of this area, the spotted deer, was seen feeding. The sambar deer were also on the lookout for their perfect meal. As the rays of the sun started shining better on this forest, the shikra bird came out on the lookout for some snake or some interesting food. This protected area also has a large number of leopards. Leopards generally avoid the territory of the lions. They are good climbers and often are seen on hillocks, camouflaging themselves in the dry, leafy background. As there was no lion in sight in this particular area, the leopard has finally come out of its hide. The spotted deer are drinking water, but the rivers and other water bodies in this area are not free from threat, as this area of Gir holds the largest population of marsh crocodiles in any protected area of India. They are often seen bathing in the sunlight on the banks of these rivers. Amongst the migratory birds, the Indian pitta migrates from the Himalayan foothills to Gir National Park and other such areas. It's a shy bird and often seen on the ground. Near the pond heron bird was seen swallowing a huge meal. This pair of owls had found a nice resting place in the tree hollow. The group of lions is composed of the male lion, a few lionesses, and the small cubs. The lion is not seen with the females all the time. The females and the cubs form a group and stay together. Sometimes one of the female hunts and the other one takes care of her and the other female's cubs. These cubs were feeding on the sambar kill that was given to them by their mother. Amongst the cubs, some had already finished feeding on the kill and were now in a playful mood. This female was watchful over her cubs while they were feeding. Near this area, amongst the dry leaves of the teak tree, were the two birds sitting on the ground. The Eurasian Ticonis, hardly identifiable due to their great camouflaging. The rose-ringed parakeets were also active and probably trying to find a nesting area. The plum-headed parakeet was also resting in the tree hole. The peacocks too were quite active during this daytime. The paradise flycatchers, another beautiful birds of the forest, could be seen in the morning light. Near the water bodies were birds like the darter, kingfisher, and others. A group of peahens drove away the ibis bird from their area. The blue bulls in this area are another important herbivore which the lions love to hunt. They generally prefer to stay in groups to avoid the attacks of the jungle king. The young males of the pride are often thrown out of the group at an early stage. After this, these young stay together till they attain maturity. This saves them from any kind of attacks from the larger males. Though the group of the lions forms 2-3 males, some females and cubs together, yet often the males are seen solitary. And the females are more social and are seen together with the cubs. Lions are also found in Africa, but the African lions are much larger and their mane is distinctive than that of the Asiatic lions. In the forests of Gir National Park, the Asiatic lions are quite safe and are protected by the government authorities as well as the NGOs and other bodies. However, there are several issues that are faced in the conservation of this beautiful creature. Though there are several perennial rivers in the area of Gir, yet the water levels may fall to such an extent that it becomes inaccessible to the animals in this region. To overcome this problem, the forest officials have constructed several artificial tanks in this area of the Gir forest. Another important concern is the existence of the Maldharis in the region of the Gir sanctuaries. Though in the core area of the forest the Maldharis or the villagers are not present, yet on the borders and the sanctuary areas there are several villages in which these old tribes called as Maldharis live. The Maldharis sometimes bring their cattle into the forest area for grazing. This causes the death of the cattle due to the attacks of lions. For the lions, the cattle are the easier target as compared to the wild herbivores. Several times there are forest fires in this region, thereby damaging a lot of the part of the forest. This mainly happens due to the dry leaves and the existence of the dry trees. Lions and leopards from this forest are often seen to wander outside the official forest area. Due to this, the surrounding villages or even sometimes cities face the animal-human conflict. There are records of the lions wandering up to the coastal areas of Veravan, around 30 kilometers away from Gir. Contagious viral infections like that of the canine distemper virus that happened in the month of September 2018, causing the death of several lions in this forest. These contagious diseases can lead to the washout of several animals in one go, which is very dangerous for this endangered mammal. To avoid concentration of this beautiful Asiatic lion in a single area of Gir, the government, forest officials and trusts are taking efforts to relocate some of them to other regions. However, these planning and efforts will take some time. Currently, with the hard work of the government, the forest officials and various NGOs, this endangered Asiatic lion is well protected in the forests of Gir, and there is hope of a better future for them.